The little boy's behavior was outrageous. After being reincarnated, the first thing he wanted to do was check his gender. A maid saw him and misunderstood, thinking he had wet the bed. Before he could react, she pulled down his pants. Cain was stunned. To ease the awkwardness, he tried distracting himself with food, but once he finished eating, the maid scooped him into her arms. Cain's heart raced. He wanted to resist, but in this body he was only 2.5 years old. Resistance was impossible. Still, the maid cared for him so well that Cain quickly learned a lot about this world. He had been born into a noble family, and his father had 2 wives. The first wife bore 2 sons, while the second gave birth to Cain and his sister. But what fascinated him most wasn't his family tree, it was the world of swords and sorcery. Determined to use magic as soon as possible, Cain learned to read in just 2 days. Even his parents were amazed, calling him a genius. Still, they felt magic training was far too early. That would have to wait until Cain turned 5 and received his baptism at the church. Cain agreed on the surface, but inside, he was impatient. Back in his room, he decided to try anyway, and to his shock, it worked. Luckily, the maid noticed nothing. Cain's excitement made him reckless, and his next attempt nearly set the house on fire. Again, the maid missed it, but his sister walked in. She said she already knew what Cain was up to. Cain panicked, worried she had uncovered his secret. Instead, she simply offered to teach him more about the outside world. Relieved, Cain agreed, though he soon realized his sister wasn't exactly the brightest. For weeks she tutored him, and Cain gained a solid grasp of the kingdom's history. What thrilled him most was learning that other races existed. Years passed, and soon Cain turned 5, the age for baptism. This was his first journey outside. His sister even showed him her own status panel so he would understand what magic blessings felt like. But one line caught his attention: favorite person Cain. He pretended not to see it, though the memory burned in his mind. At the church, 7 statues stood before them, the avatars of the 7 gods. Praying to them would grant a random blessing. But when the archbishop finished the rite, all 7 statues glowed at once. In an instant, Cain was pulled into the realm of the gods. The goddess of life, who ruled over reincarnation, revealed the truth about his past death. He had died saving someone from a mugger. Yet even if he hadn't intervened, the criminal would have slipped, been caught by bystanders, and jailed anyway. Cain's sacrifice had been unnecessary. Worse, his death indirectly made the man's sentence harsher, life imprisonment instead of years. Cain broke down in tears. The goddess comforted him. Though his actions hadn't changed the outcome, he had still acted selflessly, which was why Earth's deities had asked the 7 gods to reincarnate him here, with his memories intact. The 7 admired his spirit. Each bestowed a blessing upon him, some of which were so unusual Cain would only understand them later. With time running short, they sent him back. When Cain's father saw the brilliant light from the statues, he rushed to check his son's status panel. But Cain, remembering the god's sly smiles, suspected something was off. He slipped away and checked in private. His jaw dropped. Each of his 7 attributes was level 10, when the normal cap was 5. If his family saw this, they'd be terrified. Fortunately, one god had given him the ability to conceal his stats. Cain hid them just in time. Yet he overlooked some numbers. His family still saw that he had 7 divine blessings and over 300,000 units of mana. Even royal court magicians barely reached 10,000. And Cain was only 5. His father ordered everyone to keep the secret. If word spread, the kingdom would see Cain as a threat. Back in his room, Cain noticed a summoning grimoire lying on his bed. After everything, all he wanted was the comfort of a fluffy creature. He cast the spell outside. But instead of something soft and cute, a massive hairless minotaur appeared before him.